What's going on, guys? What's cracking? Sorry my shirt's off and I look like a douchebag, but it's hot as fuck and I need to work on the Supra. We're out here in the garage listening to Little Peep right now, but I'm trying to get this thing ready. I have this show called Motorama. Now this is months away, but I'm starting to write down the things on the whiteboard, of course, of what I want to get done. And I'm just sitting here, I'm starting to hash out things I know I can go ahead and fix, which is this here. So if you look in the engine bay here, it's kind of random, right? It just sits up here on this tab. Well, down here, there's a random hole that isn't being used. And I'm like, well, I can mount that bitch there and then run all the wiring underneath. And I've got heat shield, which let's pause a little peep here real quick. Come on, baby. I've got this what the heck is it called? DEI or DEY, whatever, heat wrap, which I got a bunch of it. I think it's called DEI. Yeah, DEI heat wrap. Got some of the big stuff, and then I got a bunch of this little stuff. Looks like I'm gonna have to order another sleeve, but use that to insulate some of the hose and tuck that down out of the way for a couple reasons too. Another reason is I have the wiring going across. You can see here it's starting to wear down the fitting and some of the wiring, which isn't exactly good. So I want to tuck that down there, and I think it'll look a lot cleaner too. So let's go ahead and try tackling this real quick. All right, so first issue I ran into here is the fact that this hole right here is actually a 12 millimeter, not this small 10 millimeter. So I'm actually gonna use a bolt, mount the bracket like this, and then kind of have the fitting go off to the side, which is actually gonna tuck it back a little bit further. It should be okay. Most of the mounts I see from Powerhouse Racing actually mount it like right back in here, so this actually might work out perfect. This mount came with it, it was free, so this actually works out really well. All right, so working on it here, one thing I'm noticing is, you guys can see, those fittings need to be 90 degree. These need to come up and over for this to work a little bit better. Yeah, so I just ordered some 90 degree fittings off Amazon. They said they'll be here by Friday, which doesn't do me much good for right now, but it will be enough in time for when Tony and Mike show up this weekend. So I'll be able to have it done Friday night, be able to cruise around. If anything, I can always swap it back to this setup, but it should suffice, and no matter what, I don't even need it technically, but I should be good to go. So I'm not sure if this will show up or not, but these are the fittings I bought. It came with a pack of 5 or whatever, which kind of comes in handy. I only need 2 of them, but gives me backup for anything else I might need down the road, which is kind of nice. So I just ordered these. Like I said, they'll be here by Friday. Amazon coming in for the win. Prime always comes in handy. And you're probably thinking, why am I doing this? And for me, guys, it's a cleanliness thing. I want to clean some things up. I plan on attending more car shows next year, things of that nature. And just little things like that will make it look better by also keeping it realistic, a driver's car still, so to be able to drive it and not have to worry about it per se. The line should be okay. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna wrap everything in DEI heat wrap, which I might go ahead and get on here too and order some of that. To fish this through though is gonna take some ingenuity on my behalf. It's gonna take a little bit of effort to try and fish all that line because this is tight. I wanna keep it tight too. This way it doesn't get messed up. So it should work, we will see in the end. Now I'm not so stinky either. I actually washed this too. I did the whole 3 bucket method as it's blurry as fuck again. Why is my camera doing this? Yeah, so it's nice and clean now. That's the one thing great about silver, but it also sucks to be silver for the fact that you guys know that this car is 50 shades of gray and it drives me nuts. I wanted to point out again, I was talking to another guy about this. Any Supra owners out there, I went and shaved this piece here. As you can see, there's that black trim pieces in there, and shaved the holes here. This is a 98 style bumper. What you do is you put a piece of aluminum under here, or you can use like heavy duty plastic. I recommend a piece of aluminum, and you plastic glue that in or plastic weld it in, whatever you properly call it. And then you fill the holes, and it keeps this rigid, as you can see. It keeps it rigid and it doesn't look so flimsy. If you notice when you take those out, or even when it's in, it tends to get this wavy look to it. This keeps it perfectly straight. Makes it all lined up nicely. Now it obviously has a natural curve into it. It's not perfectly, it's not a bar straight across. So if you look at it from the intercooler straight on, you can see it starts up higher on the ends and then comes lower in the center, but that's just how the bumper's supposed to be. But the other ones, it literally looks like a wave in there. That's one way you guys can fix it and take care of it. But this reminds me too, with all this off and getting this down there, you're probably like, talk about this a little bit, but the goal is to have this all painted, so I would mean taking the motor back out. The battery's still staying up front. I'm going to be getting a custom overflow tank. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. The goal originally was to put it right here, I'm not sure now. I want to keep it as clean as possible, get rid of this plastic one. I'm going to powder coat everything black now, so like nothing will be left that's not. So I'm going to be doing the inducer and the exducer of the turbo here. Going to obviously powder coat that gloss black. Intercooler piping needs to be redone, so when I have it redone, I'm going to have it powdered black. Same with down here. I haven't decided if I'm getting a new manifold yet, so I'm still waiting on all of that. If I do get a new manifold, I'll probably switch this turbo out from the S366 to the new SXE series 69mm. Give me a little bit more top end, and they make the same around the low end, so just kind of a win-win for me if I go to that, plus it looks nicer. Just a couple little random things. But again, speaking of getting this car ready, another thing I wanted to show you guys is this. So if you guys can see here, this is the power wire. This power wire here is actually going back to the fuel pump. It runs down under here, underneath the fender, back through here, and back to the fuel pump relays. Now, the reasoning for that is I have the battery up front, so I need to run direct power back there. It's on a fuse switch, so don't worry about it, guys. It doesn't have constant draw. But that being said, I have it attached up here. And for look-wise, it's hideous. I hate it. What you can do is pop this off, take this off, and go in here. So now you're probably wondering, well, why would you go in there, Ryan? Well, give me a second, I'll show you. So I'm gonna detach it here. First of all, I'm gonna detach the positive and negative here just so I don't cause any issues and pop any fuses. Unbolt this here, push this back, and underneath here, pop this open here, come on. We've got a power right here. You can attach this inside of here, which I've already had it notched out once before, to fit this power wire in there, and it fits up under, and it looks just, well, 10 times cleaner, to be honest. So what I'm gonna do is pull this off and show you guys where to attach it. All right, so now I've got the fuse box out, guys. I'm trying to be very careful with it because, one, this is a discontinued item. It's not worth messing up. But you can see, I run this down in here. You might have to make a little bit of a trimming there, run it up like that, and then you stick it through there. And this might require 2 hands, but you just set it down here, so I'll show you guys. All right, now I've got it all bolted back down. As you guys can see, you can't even see the wiring now, so it's all hidden. Because when I redo this also, I'm gonna actually redo all this wiring up here too, get new connectors. Once my Odyssey battery comes in, I'm gonna change a couple things up, and I always get asked, Ryan, why don't you put in the back? I do like cleanliness, I do like things simple to work on, but I also like some functionality. Actually, I like a lot of functionality, kind of in the name. So keep the battery up front, keeping all the power lines, all the negatives, everything extremely short, so it makes it a lot easier to work on. Now, something I am going to do, probably adding some headache, but also removing some, is going away from mechanical fan and going to a true electrical fan setup. I'm going to go to a dual SPAL fan setup on this car and do away with the mechanical. It just doesn't keep up with the AC because I cannot fit the AC coolers because of the intercooler piping. So I really can't do anything there. And the new SPAL fans from Powerhouse Racing with their setup is more than enough. It flows way, way, way more air than what the stock setup does, so I'm not really worried about it. I will have to adjust the intercooler piping to make it work, but that shouldn't be an issue. Now we gotta go test it real quick, make sure the fuel pump still kicks on. I'll be able to hear it in the back. It might not pick up on camera, but we got power. Yep, there's the fuel pump priming. Turn this back off. Turn it back off. And I just like to test it just to be safe, make sure it starts. I do that just to be safe because you never know. I don't want to go to drive the next time and go, oh shit, now I'm finding the problem at this moment in time. I'd rather find it now than later on. So just being a little precautious. But we've got one more other issue. The fuck is wrong with me? I've got one more issue to show you guys. So as you guys can see, taillights are off, right? Weird, right? Brake lights work. If I actually hit the brakes, they work. Something happened. You can see my front turns are working, but my rear lights, front turns work. Okay, front lights, all good, just the rear. So there's a failure box in the back of this. Now I had some similar issue before and was actually up front. I'm gonna check that here first. But if not, I'm waiting for a failure box I'm gonna order here. There's 2 options for this. So I found an old thread a long time ago on how to fix this. There's multiple boxes you can fix that actually fix it completely. Or this company called Yoda Connectors actually makes a fix for it now. Or you can actually go inside the box itself. I guess that's 3 things. And you can solder everything. I would rather just get this little connector. I think it's gonna be like 15 or 20 bucks. It's like super uber cheap just to do it, be done with it, and not have to worry about resoldering again down the road. Or like me, Ocean City happened to me, it came unsoldered and stuff. You don't wanna be dealing with that. So I'm gonna go down underneath here first and check if that's the issue. If not, I'm gonna call up Yoda Connectors to see if they'll send me one ASAP. He just prototyped it a couple weeks ago. So I wanna see if he can send it out to me and get it out there like ASAP. All right guys, so I'm down here where the kick panel will be. Here's some random things like random wiring that was on this one that has stereo. It's you don't know what frustration is like until you've worked on this damn car. This car had like the worst ghetto rig stereo system in it. The car was bone stock, but it had an aftermarket stereo from the mid-90s. You know, not much more should be said. It looked like some hood rat did it. It was done horribly, but this is just I wish I could find the pictures. I'd literally pulled out a rat's nest, twice the size of my hand, just dropped out from underneath of it. If you guys would see how the ignition is switched up, oh, it's bad. But anyways, if you can see, there's some wiring here that's like all clipped together. And over here is this little wire right here. See what my pinky is? This little guy right here is apparently what is to these taillights. And I reclipped everything and I did log in, and for some reason just playing with it here fixed it. I don't know why. I don't there's no rhyme or reason behind it, but it's working again. The taillight just kicked on. Now let's make sure they're still working. Yep. You see the lights on there, guys? Rear lights are on. Are these on? Yep, those are on too. Doesn't make any sense to me, guys, but if anyone gives some insight, I thought it was the failure box. Here it is again. It is not the failure box, it's actually the wiring down here. I just play with it a little bit and then it kicks back on, which to do it, I have to take this off, which isn't hard, requires no tools, which is nice. So if this does happen along the side of the road, I know what I can do, but who wants this happening if I'm out, you know, in Mexico and I'm having some fun? I don't want to get pulled over because my taillights are out. You know, stupid shit like that. Guys, I hope you like these issue videos or stuff I find wrong videos. So here's another thing. As you can see, I got a 10 amp or whatever the heck it is. I can't think of it. So this random orange wire here, I think was grounding out and causing the fuse to pop or like kind of a delay. Well, this last time here, I actually had the lights on. I was like, oh, it must be a dead line. Hit this metal here and it left off a spark that, whoo, Jesus, made me jump. And well, hold on. If you guys can see there at the bottom, it split it and blew this fuse up, which is for the rear tail lights. Now, I might have been intermittent with it and causing the issue, so I don't know what to do with this wiring because I have a ton of it and I'm scared. There's some things I need to work with, and for right now, I need it to drive, so I'll do some cheap-ass electrical tape and then put some, yeah. I got to figure out where this goes to. I'm going to start getting rid of all this extra wiring. I'm going to start systematically this year de-pinning everything. Thanks to Jose, he sent me a bunch of snap-on tools to de-pin things correctly. De-pinning a bunch of wiring, redoing it all, getting proper wiring back in there, and fixing all this nonsense. When I show you this winter, guys, how bad the ignition system is, you're probably going to cry. It's literally soldered together right now, which I don't ever use solder anymore. To me, soldering is dead. So yeah, but I'm glad that's fixed, and I do have taillights again. Well, guys, I think that's going to be it for this one. I have to take the shirt back off again because I'm sweating like a hog. But yeah, it just shows you like these cars are going to have electrical issues. You're going to run into problems with cars like this. It's always fun though. I do enjoy it. But guys, if you could do me a big solid favor, go down below, check out the Facebook and Instagram. I'm always posting stuff way ahead of time. Good Lord, I messed that up. If you guys could also do me a big favor, go check out the Pure Function page. Got new hats, shirts, stickers, all that good stuff. Thank you guys very much, and I will talk to you later. Peace!